This week on ANN, U.S. Senate Chaplain Barry Black wins the prestigious Canterbury Award for his work with religious freedom.
That's right. ADRA releases a statement in recognition of World Refugee Day.
And President of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church, Ted N.C. Wilson, visits Pakistan.
These stories and more coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Barry C. Black, 62nd Chaplain of the U.S. State Senate. United States Senate has been named Beckets' 2019 Canterbury Medalist for his honorable defense of religious liberty for people of all faiths.
The Canterbury Medal, Beckets' highest honor, recognizes an individual who has demonstrated courage and commitment to defending religious liberty in America and around the world.
In carrying out a tradition that goes back to the First Continental Congress in 1774, Chaplain Black honors his position just as the Founding Fathers asked, with courage and faith in democracy.
Beckett honored Black with the 2019 Canterbury Medal at its annual gala in New York earlier this month.
Chaplain Barry C. Black has served as Senate Chaplain since 2003. The first ever Seventh-day Adventist and African-American Senate Chaplain, he is the spiritual advisor for not only 100 of the most powerful lawmakers in the nation, but also their staff and families, a combined constituency of more than 7,000 people.
Each morning as he opens the Senate with prayer, Black sets the discourse for the day in one of the highest chambers in the nation, in turn setting the spiritual tone of the country.
That's right. Prior to serving on Capitol Hill, Rear Admiral Barry C. Black served in the U.S. Navy for more than 27 years, ending his distinguished career as the Chief of Navy Chaplains.
The Canterbury Medal draws its name from one of history's most dramatic religious liberty standoffs, which occurred between Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas A. Becket, the law firm namesake, and King Henry II of England.
The annual Canterbury Gala honors the award recipient in a black tie event at the Pierre Hotel in New York and is attended by the world's most distinguished religious leaders and religious liberty advocates.
Ahead of World Refugee Day, which takes place on June the 20th, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, or ADRA, put out a statement about their commitment to working with refugees. The statement, in part, says June 20th is World Refugee Day, when Adventist Development and Relief Agency joins the United Nations and the world to commemorate the strength, courage, and perseverance of millions of refugees and show support for families forced to leave their homes due to persecution or conflict. ADRA remains committed to supporting and protecting refugees and other displaced children, women, and men, providing food, shelter, safe water, hygiene goods, psychosocial support, and other services to thousands of refugees, internally displaced, and stateless persons in around 40 countries. ADRA believes that refugees have a right to live their lives free from the shame of ostracization or dwell under the shackles of persecution and war. That's why ADRA continues doing what it does best, serving all who are in need. In their statement, ADRA also reemphasized their commitment to making sure all children, including the 4 million refugee children not attending school, have access to an education. That is why ADRA is seeking 1 million signatures for their Every Child, Everywhere in School campaign. They're asking people everywhere to send an unequivocal message that refugee children and all children matter, and that they deserve a bright future, only accessible through the life-changing power of education. To read the full statement, visit news.adventist.org.
Seventh-day Adventist Church President Ted N.C. Wilson prayed and shared biblical advice with a powerful Pakistani leader, even as he encouraged church members to shine as a light in Pakistan. Wilson, who made his first visit to Pakistan, was warmly welcomed by the leader of Pakistan's Sindh province to his chief minister house in Karachi, the country's largest city and commercial hub. Wilson thanked Chief Minister Syed Murad Ali Shah for the religious freedom that the authorities grant people of all faiths, and he highlighted the Adventist Church's efforts to build society and relieve suffering through the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, the Karachi Adventist Hospital, and Pakistan Adventist Seminary and College. Shah, a graduate of Stanford University in the U.S. state of California, expressed familiarity with the Karachi Adventist Hospital. The Adventist Church has about 13,000 members in Pakistan, a country of 204 million people. Wilson asked Shah whether he could share some leadership advice from the Bible. With the chief minister's consent, he recited Micah 6:8 from memory, saying, What does the Lord require of you but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God? As the 15-minute meeting wrapped up, Wilson offered to pray for Shah and his work. Shah requested a special prayer for Sindh province, the territory under his leadership since 2016, and one of the 4 provinces in Pakistan. Wilson arrived in Pakistan on June 7th for a 4-day visit to encourage church members in Karachi and in Lahore, where the church headquarters of the Pakistan Union section is located. He also visited Pakistan Adventist Seminary and College.
Recently, a special program was organized for Adventists from Venezuela living in Cucuta, Colombia. The event was attended by more than 500 Venezuelans at the Juan Frio Adventist Recreation Center. The event was meant to gather church members in Colombia to continue their involvement in community projects and to learn more about what Venezuelans are going through. Since the beginning of the crisis at the border several years ago, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Colombia and the Northeast Colombian Conference have been organizing projects to benefit thousands of Venezuelan migrants with food baskets, mattresses, toiletries, blankets, shoes, and basic health services. Hundreds of migrants were treated to dinner and music and given time to share their experiences. During the program, 190 food baskets were distributed to the group, thanks to donations by ADRA Colombia, ADRA Puerto Rico, and CPL International, a non-governmental organization. According to numbers, there are more than 300 Adventist Venezuelan families residing in Cucuta. Church leaders in the local ADRA office in Cucuta plan to work on a project where children from the church in Cucuta raise funds and collect clothes and toys for Venezuelan migrant children. To learn more about projects and initiatives led by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in North Colombia, visit unioncolombiana.org.co.
Recently, almost 600 people from across the United States gathered for the biannual North American Division's Myanmar Multilingual Convention held at Timber Ridge Camp in Spencer, Indiana. The event was organized by Samuel Ngala, an Indiana pastor and church planter. 9 different language groups from Myanmar, previously known as Burma, were present at the convention along with visitors who represented Africa, Australia, South America, and Asia. Hymns were sung, sermons preached, and prayers offered up throughout the weekend. As a result, there were 5 baptisms of young people who chose to dedicate their lives to the Lord. Organizers of the event said, to bring this initiative full circle, one cannot ignore the grim history of what the people of Myanmar experienced. Underneath the smiling faces are a people group who have experienced rampant ethnic strife and civil wars from their homeland. Through the past several decades, many have fled Myanmar to seek asylum in neighboring countries. According to the Center for Immigration Studies / Refugee Processing Center, more than 3,500 refugees from Myanmar were settled in the United States between 2017 to 2018. The results of the Myanmar Convention, which began 10 years ago, are undeniably impressive. Alongside spiritual growth, many church members have dedicated themselves to launching church plants for refugee and immigrants in different cities.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Chiapas, Mexico highlighted its comprehensive health impact plan with 8 brand new vehicles during a special ceremony.
That's right. The new vans will be used to expand the health and medical missionary work at the 8 conferences that comprise the Union territory.
Pastor Ignacio Navarro, president of the church in Chiapas, said health is one of the most important pillars the church should invest in to be used as a light where it is needed most, as part of fulfilling the mission.
He went on to say that there are many marginal communities in great need of healing and medical services across Chiapas, and the new equipped vehicles will cater to them.
The first half of the year has seen dozens of health brigades, an amount which has doubled during this Year of Health focus the church is celebrating in Chiapas.
Faustino de los Santos, MD, Health Ministries Director for the church in Chiapas, said that the vans, besides transporting medical staff and medicines during health impact programs, can also be used to transport patients who are in need of specialized medical services at clinics or hospitals.
The health and/or medical brigades usually include free medical checkups, minor medical surgeries, minor dental procedures, ultrasound scans, ophthalmology exams, distribution of free eyeglasses, features psychological attention, nutritional advice, healthy lifestyle lectures, and cooking classes.
Local leaders have seen many benefit from the medical missionary services, and the church has expanded through its health activities, especially in communities where there is no Adventist presence.
Coming up, the flagship magazine of the Seventh-day Adventist Church receives a prestigious award.
But up next, we have the story of a young woman serving the Lord in Kyrgyzstan.
Welcome back.
What happens when a young lady in Kyrgyzstan uses her God-given talents and gifts in His service?
Well, the Euro-Asia region's Southern Union Mission sent this report.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Олли. Я родилась в России. Большую часть своей жизни я прожила в Казахстане. Но на данный момент более 6 лет я живу в городе Бишкек, Кыргызстан. Я работаю в медиацентре. Здесь я занимаюсь графическим дизайном, создаю различные макеты, занимаюсь версткой и создаем печатную продукцию. Также я занимаюсь музыкальными проектами. Мы создаем гимны на различных языках Центральной Азии, переводим на такие языки, как кыргызский, казахский, таджикский, узбекский, а также русский язык. Помимо этого мы создаем новые авторские гимны. Они более современные и молодежные. Конечный итог нашего продукта — это создание видео, караоке, которое в дальнейшем публикуется на нашем YouTube-канале. Наша продукция пользуется большим спросом. Каждую субботу поются гимны и оставляются положительные отзывы от людей с разных уголков не только Центральной Азии, но и других частей мира. Также наши гимны используются на различных мероприятиях, молодежных конгрессах, следопытских слетах, и это все на самом деле не может не радовать. Нужно использовать все возможности и таланты в служении Господу. Порой это бывает не так просто, но в таких обстоятельствах мы растем как профессионально, так и духовно. Служа Господу искренне от всего сердца, это будет угодно Ему, и это будет большим благословением для людей, окружающих нас.
The Adventist Review, the flagship magazine of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, recently received the Associated Church Press 2018 Best in Class Award for a denominational magazine. The award was presented by ACP at its annual Best of the Church Press Awards ceremony in Chicago, Illinois. Each year, a juried competition of the best in North American religious journalism is conducted by ACP. This year, for the first time, Adventist Review received the Best in Class Denominational Magazine Award. The award is conferred on the faith-based publication that best exemplifies the high standards of excellence in writing, design, and service to its denomination. Other Seventh-day Adventist publications that received awards include Ministry Magazine, NAD News Points, the Canadian Adventist Messenger, and the Journal of Adventist Education. The Associated Church Press traces its beginnings to 1916 and is a professional organization brought together by a common commitment to excellence in journalism as a means to describe, reflect, and support the life of faith and the Christian community. Among its stated purposes is the goal of promoting higher standards of communication through professional growth opportunities and recognition of excellence.
Lack of sanitary products is a major barrier to education for schoolgirls in Uganda. Many miss school or drop out entirely due to a lack of feminine hygiene products, sanitation facilities, and bullying by peers.
Unable to afford or access sanitary products, many girls rely on improvised materials like scraps of clothing, toilet paper, leaves, and pieces of foam mattresses to manage their menstruation. These materials can be unhygienic, ineffective, and uncomfortable.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Canada had a way to help these girls stay in school.
ADRA Canada sent this report.
Izina ryanjye banyita Iradukunda Justine.
I was born in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We have 7 in our family. We had to flee from our house because rebel soldiers were attacking our village almost daily. Many people were killed. Others were abducted and taken away. It was an especially difficult time for women and young girls. We had to leave and find a place that was safe. Our family decided to come here, to Uganda. As soon as we crossed over the border, we were registered as refugees. The government of Uganda, the United Nations, and ADRA have been very helpful to our family. After 1 year of living close to the border, we were assigned to a new area where the government gave our family a small plot of land to grow some vegetables. My parents heard about this ADRA school and decided to send me here. I'm a boarding student here. It is a very good school. The teachers are very nice, they have high standards, and we're learning a lot. I had missed a lot of school because of the difficulties in my home village and because there was no school in the refugee camp. Here, I have been able to catch up, and I am now in P7. One of the things that has made it difficult for some of us older girls to attend class is that we have not had sanitary pads to use during our period. They were too expensive for our parents to afford, and when our periods came, we were afraid to attend class. Sometimes we would just stay in our room and miss days of school each month. Then, people from ADRA visited our school and distributed sanitary kits for the girls that included pads. The girls here have been very thankful for these kits. Now, we never miss a class. We thank ADRA for all that they have done to help us. May God bless you.
If you'd like more information on this project or how you can help keep these girls in school, visit adra.ca.
And remember, if you want to support ADRA's new advocacy campaign by raising your voice to say you support every child everywhere in school, visit adra.org/inschool.
Coming up, Emily Mistrapa has social media news.
But up next, Adventist Mission shares the story of a young girl in Peru who transformed her neighborhood.
We may look, pray, read, think, worship, sing, and share differently, but we all look forward to the Sabbath, and we all look forward to the future when Jesus will come again. With this message in mind, we arrived at a core component for a new identity system, the creation grid, a simple 7-column structure for layout. The grid is a reference both to the prophetic timeline as well as to the creation week that culminated in the 7th-day Sabbath. Regardless of what or where you are designing, you can always find information to help you communicate that we are all Seventh-day Adventists.
Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai. Go and gather all the Jews who are in Susa together, and pray and fast for me. Do not eat or drink anything for 3 days and nights. I and my maidens will fast as you do. After that, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish.
It's no ordinary Sabbath. It's Creation Sabbath.
Welcome back.
When Abigail opened the door to strangers, she had no idea her life was about to change.
Let's visit Lima, Peru to see how a neighborhood is being transformed.
Adventist Mission has more.
With Bibles in hand, this church-planting duo began exploring their new community, introducing themselves to neighbors, and hoping to connect with them. They knew sharing the Adventist message in a city like Lima could be challenging. With a population of almost 10 million people, Peru's capital is one of South America's largest and busiest cities. As in many other urban areas, people are often busy, and interest in religion is fading. There was no Seventh-day Adventist congregation in this part of the city until a local Adventist family took the initiative to start one. First, they began meeting for worship in their home and invited their neighbors to join them. Then they invited theology students from the Adventist University in Lima to come preach in the streets. This event stirred up a lot of interest in the community. As the family spoke more and more with their neighbors, they realized there were many needs. They recruited other Adventists in Lima and arranged a health expo for the community. People appreciated the compassion and genuine care they encountered. Soon after the first health expo, Dina and Kataring were called to serve full-time through the 1000 missionary movement, an initiative started and supported by several of the Adventist Church's world divisions. When Dina and Kataring first knocked on Abigail's door, they asked if they could pray with her. Abigail gladly accepted their invitation, and the girls returned each day for prayer. After a few doorway prayers, Abigail invited them inside, where Dina and Kataring offered her Bible studies. With each visit, the girls noticed how Abigail struggled to maintain her home. She was having a difficult pregnancy at the time and had another child to care for. She often didn't feel well enough to keep up with household chores. Dina and Kataring eagerly began to help. They assisted Abigail by cleaning, cooking, and taking her child to school. Adventist church members in Lima also gathered food to give to the family. Their acts of kindness showed Abigail the love of Jesus. It's been several months, and Abigail still looks forward to the weekly Bible studies. She's just one of 40 community members whom Dina and Kataring visit regularly. Through Christ's method, Dina and Kataring have helped plant a new church in this neighborhood where about 30 people worship each Sabbath. Please pray for church planters like Dina and Kataring, who are on the front lines of mission. Pray for strength and compassion as they continue to reach others for Christ. Thank you for supporting Adventist Mission.
You can watch this and other mission stories online by visiting AdventistMission.org. Then click on videos at the top.
Each week, our friends at Adventist Record in Australia hold live video chats to talk about current events and news.
Emily Mastrapa is here to tell you how you can get involved in the conversation.
Do you want to be a part of a candid conversation about faith, fundamentals, and everything in between? If you do, you should head to Adventist Records' Facebook page. Adventist Record is the official news and lifestyle magazine for the South Pacific Division. Every Thursday at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, team members from Adventist Record sit down to talk about current topics in Facebook Live videos. Their most recent video was on Refugee Sabbath. They've also talked about health, revelation, and why we shouldn't be ashamed of being Seventh-day Adventists. So make sure you head to their page on Thursday at 4 p.m. AEDT to join in on the conversation. Let them know if you agree or disagree and why. And just to be clear, the opinions expressed on Adventist Records' Facebook page are those of the author or the person in the video, and they don't necessarily reflect those of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. These videos are a way to express opinions and to hear from their viewers like you. You can ask questions and give your input. They also have other videos on their page, like Sabbath School quarterly videos and other kinds of videos like that. Just head to their Facebook page and search Adventist Record. You can also follow them on Twitter at Adventist Record.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to Ashley Chisholm for a look at Adventist history.
This week we hear about a family who dedicated their lives to serving the Lord.
Welcome to This Week in Adventist History. On June 18, 1881, Jenny Mantle was born in Hartford, Michigan. She married Harry F. Taylor on December 22, 1902, and the Taylors became Seventh-day Adventists in 1903. After a brief stint at Emmanuel Missionary College, today's Andrews University, the Taylors went to work in the U.S. state of New York. From there, they spent a year on the island of Bermuda, then moved back to the United States to live and work in Baltimore, Maryland in 1914. At a reception hosted in the homes of Doctors Henry and Patience Cisco, the Taylors were welcomed by the Chesapeake Conference president, as well as a representative of the church Harry was to pastor, the Baltimore First Seventh-day Adventist Church, which still exists today as the Ellicott City Seventh-day Adventist Church. After several years in Maryland, the Taylors moved to Glendale, California, where sadly, Jenny Taylor died in late 1918. Of Jenny, it was written that wherever she labored, she was most energetic and diligent in helping forward the work. After her death, Harry Taylor remarried. He and his new wife, Emma, continued to work in California and then in the Southern Union until Harry's retirement. He died on November 17, 1960. And that story came from This Week in Adventist History.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We would love to hear from you. Send us your feedback and tell us how your church is making a difference in its community.
That's right. Be sure to capture plenty of video footage and photos, then write up a summary of the event's important details. And feel free to send full video reports as well.
You can reach us as always by sending an email to annvideo11@gmail.com.
Now, before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14.
And the passage says, "For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to royal position for such a time as this."
Mercy. That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.